Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun today to take a look at the cards that are going to be rotating from Standard to Wild in the next month or so when we see Voyage to the Sunken City, Murder Castle Nathria, and March of Lich King all rotate, including our boy Sir Finley Seaguide, one of my favorite cards out there, who is just getting reunited with all the League of Explorers with this latest mini set. That's right, we got Reno, Baran, Finley, and Elise all in Standard, at least for a little bit. And I thought I would just go over the more impactful cards, the cards that I'm going to be kind of sad are leaving, that I wish might stick around, and the cards that I just cannot wait to leave. And then, you know, we'll just get a good idea of what we're looking at with Standard rotation coming up pretty soon. And just a reminder, we have our giveaway going on for 3 mini sets out of my pocket. To enter that giveaway, like and comment on the video in the description below, the one with that thumbnail. Be subscribed to the channel, and if we hit next 1,000 subs by the 18th, I will add another mini set to that giveaway. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. So starting off, we are going to be losing a Voyage to Sunken City, one of the more popular expansions we've seen in years. Just really thematic, really cool. And the cards I'm the most sad, besides Finley leaving, the Colossal Minions. Maybe not so much the Neptulons of the world, but even a card like Ambassador Phelan was pretty sweet getting those value cards. But all the different Colossals, very few were nerfed. I believe Nelly is the only one to get nerfed at all. And like, you had really like a big Murloc for Warlock, Glug. I can't get upset with Glug. He's such a cool card. You gotta love Glug. Krabatoe, one of the best rogue cards out there. Blackwater Behemoth, which got buffed. The Leviathan. Gaia, which probably one of the weaker ones, pretty limited to being just a mech mage card. Hydrolodon, absolutely ridiculous card. Oh yeah, Kolak exists. I forgot about that. I think most of us have. And Zelag got buffed as well. Another really solid one. Yeah, I'm gonna be really sad to see all that go. Stuff I'm not gonna be super sad about seeing go, I'll say just the whole like mana cheat stuff from the Naga decks. You know me, Lady Athena, although it got nerfed, those type of cards kind of annoyed me. I'm not gonna miss 0 mana draw from Druid, which has just been a staple in like every deck since that card has been made. Just ridiculous. Also, I guess this insane buff for Treant Druid will be going away. We also got the whole dredge mechanic from Sunken City, and there's some pretty cool cards out of that batch that I will miss, like the Harpoon Gun. We'll definitely not be missing 0 mana +5/+5 get Divine Shield. A very frustrating card. Another thing that was introduced in Sunken City is Nagas. I believe is where they debuted. I think that's where that whole tribe came from. And it's been a pretty cool addition. There's some toxic Naga decks out there, but I love spells, and they're a lot more spell based. And I love how I hover over a priest card when I say I'm gonna miss something. Oh no, what's happening? But overall, Sunken City is a really cool set that I'm definitely gonna miss a lot more that's leaving than, you know, the stuff that kind of annoy me, like Jackpot and the Trickster could be pretty frustrating. It's funny, this card has been insane and wild its entire run, and that's the only place it's like, I would miss it if it was good in Standard, but it's not, or I wouldn't miss it, so I'd be happy about it. But overall, really cool set, and love to hear what your guys' favorites are from that one. Nathria had a whole bunch of cards that there's cards I'm gonna really miss. I'm sure one of them you're pretty aware of, and there's definitely gonna be some stuff I won't miss at all. I actually thought the relics for Demon Hunter were a pretty cool mechanic when that was introduced. The only thing I didn't like was like the insane mana cheat of Relic Dimensions, but that was like the only thing that made it like a viable deck. So I'm kind of torn about that. I think I'll miss elements of it. Due Process is one of the most frustrating, awfully designed cards in Hearthstone. Thankfully, it's never been that good in Standard, and that's almost actually a bad thing because in Wild, it's pretty good there and super frustrating. A card I won't miss if it was like, it's like the Swordfish thing. Like, I just can't stand the card, but again, not really meta relevant in Standard for the most part. But overall, Topiary, I know it's pretty OP, but I thought it was a pretty cool card. Summoning those Endless Whelps, I'm definitely gonna miss that for the most part. I'm gonna miss the Wild Seed package. I know Wild Seeds like got nerfed to oblivion. Like every single one got nerfed at least once, but I always thought they were really cool. Like, they were just sometimes a little too good, but they were fun to play. Really, I just thought the design of it was really interesting, and definitely one of the cards I am going to miss the most that's leaving. Collateral damage, not so much. I hate being punished for playing minions. It's always a frustration. And yes, I cannot wait for this card to leave standard, having it discovered a million times. One of the most frustrating, awfully designed cards in Hearthstone history, where your decks are built around powerful minions. It's a lot easier to throw away a cheap spell to play around counterspell, and when you have to just throw a minion after minion after minion into this stupid thing, it's so frustrating. And it's still going to exist in Wild. We're going to have to suffer there. But in Standard, I can't tell you how much better it's going to feel when a mage has a secret up and you don't have to test this. Like, I'm doing that in Arena right now. Arena doesn't have objection. It's an amazing feeling, and I absolutely cannot wait for that to go. Same with Solid Alibi, another really frustrating card. Not being able to, like, basically interact, be able to damage, let that mage stall to whatever they're doing was not super fun. But I will miss the skeletons. The Volatile Skeleton package, I thought Skeleton Mage was such a fun deck and archetype, and I really loved Kel'Thuzad and Deathborn. That stuff will definitely miss. Paladin got some pretty cool stuff as per usual. I don't know if I'll miss the Countess from my opponents, but pretty cool card to play and get that scam. And this started off with 3. I remember I thought it was gonna be so broken. I was right eventually, but yeah, I'll probably miss it in some ways. Not gonna miss Identity Theft. I feel like this card was just so powerful for a priest to be able to just pick the insane cards that they wanted, but I will miss Cathedral of Atonement. This has felt so core to Priest since it's been introduced. It goes into everything. It's a nice buff, card draw cycle, a card I really enjoyed playing when I didn't play Priest. What am I talking about? But no, it's certainly a card that I will miss. Rogue, I'm not gonna miss Serrated Bone Spike. Will definitely not miss Ghastly Gravedigger. The fact that, I just don't like cards that just pick cards and throw them away. That was always frustrating. And then with Shadow Step, it was pretty darn frustrating. And again, Serrated Bone Spike, especially with Pratt being able to cheat out so much stuff, it just, I don't know, fueled so much mana cheat. Sinstone Graveyard, super non-interactive. Didn't like the Necrolord Draka. I just really haven't enjoyed Rogue design recently with all this non-interactive, like, spam a billion cards. I don't know. I miss Miracle, like, more like the tempo rogues and all that stuff. And we haven't really seen that in some time. For Shaman, Carving Chisel always felt like a really nice card in Standard. I'll miss it in Standard. In Wild, it's a menace, but it's a really nice card in Standard. And overall, I guess I just think, like, Criminal Lineup always led to fun memes. Never super competitive. Also kind of a cool created by. I guess I'll miss that one. And then for Warlock, they got the whole Imp Warlock stuff, which I wasn't a giant fan of. It was really kind of cool to slam down King Rafam and get a lot of stats. For Warrior, I'm not going to miss Anima Instructor. The, like, absolute snowball of that card was just a little bit too much for me. But Decimator Olgra was such a rad card, and Remornia is such a cool card. A minion that turns into a weapon will definitely be one that I wish would stick around. And then let's go to neutrals, and let's just skip it. I mean this card's kind of cool. Burlock Home's not really meta relevant, but yes, Prince Renethal, please stay, please be in the core set. I don't know, it just makes the game so much more interesting to build decks when I can have 40 cards, a bit of extra health. Whether it be 35 or 40, I don't really care. I would just love Prince Renethal to stick around. It's one of my favorite cards ever. It's kind of reminiscent to me of like Dark Bishop Benedictus, right? That stayed in the core set because it let you fundamentally play Priest in a different way, and that was really nice. And I don't want Prince Renethal to leave. I just think it's such a cool card. And overall, I did really enjoy the set, but yeah, the Theotars of the world starting at 4 mana, not the most fun thing in the world. Sire Denathrius, I mean, he died a long time ago. It was kind of cool to play him when he was busted. And the Jailer, there's a lot of really polarizing cards in Nathria, but Renethal for me made it just such an awesome set. Plus the locations, right? It introduced locations. And then yeah, the last set that's going to be rotating rotating out, March of Lich King, all the cool triple blood cards, all the blood cards leaving. Gonna be super sad about with Death Knight. I really enjoyed them. Maybe Mograine, I'm not super enthused the infinite damage, but it always felt fair. I know some people will be really happy to see blood to go, but there's really nothing I'm looking forward to for leaving for Death Knight, but I just really like the class. For Demon Hunter, Unleash Falcon, suck it. It's too good appealing and all that stuff, but the Outcast package I actually quite enjoyed. I will miss the Outcast package, like Fierce Outsider was pretty solid. Thalarin always felt like a really fun card to play. Wretched Exile, and like I thought the Outcast package Walloper was really fun, so I will miss that stuff. Yes, I will miss Demon Hunter cards. Druid set was like super disjointed with like undeads and like Nubricon. I really did not like the Druid set. I'm not going to miss cards like a Nubricon whatsoever. And it got like one of the most pointless cards ever, Deep Death Beetle, where it only works with Amplifier and Standard, right? Like, what a weird one. Hunter, I think the Arcane stuff is something I will miss. I think it was a really cool, different design for Hunter, buffing up all those arcane spells. It could be a bit OP at times, especially when Haldoran got buffed and was 3 mana and you had your Eversong portal, but I'm gonna miss that stuff. Will not miss Shockspitter. If you don't remember, this was a 2-mana 2/2. You would just die so fast to it. It was so infuriating. They bumped it to 3. It still wasn't good enough. That one can definitely leave, but even like Hope of Kel'Thuzad Lost, such a cool weapon. I'm not super fan of Faithful Companions, but overall the Hunter stuff I'm gonna miss. And for Mage, I just really like the Mage stuff, like Prismatic Elemental. I like the whole Arcane Bolt strategy. I thought it was pretty rad. I guess overall, am I gonna miss Romath? Romath feels fine in Standard. It's just wild where infinite turns it was just busted. So I'll miss me some Romath. Paladin got so much good stuff. Like I didn't really hate any of it. It was like really OP with like the Purator and like Anachronos and all these like crazy cards, but felt like the most fair and like non-infuriating, really strong Paladin card. So honestly, I think this set was pretty cool for Paladin. I'll miss most of it. For Priest, I'm not the biggest fan of the undead aggro, and like the entire archetype is like rotating basically. Mind Seer, Mind Eater, like all these good undeads, like Basilisk, like Shadow Word Undeath. My goodness, I think players are going to miss Undead Priest unless they get a whole whack of undead or aggro cards. That whole Benedictus thing is going to go to waste. So maybe they'll rotate Dark Bishop next year or next rotation. That'll be interesting to see. For Rogue, I know the concoctions are OP, but it's felt really strong and really good for Rogue, the concoction package. I won't miss it in the short term, but long term, I feel like they were pretty solid Rogue cards. None of it got nerfed, surprisingly. Not a single concoction or anything got nerfed. Shadow Demise is just a ridiculous card, but surprisingly not as infuriating as I thought it could be. And I won't miss the scams of Scourge Illusionist, that mass mana cheat. We see it right now. I'm not going to miss that so much. For Shaman, I don't know. They got some cool elementals, but this set again was super disjointed. Didn't do a heck of a lot. I will miss the memes that From the Other Side brought, but those were already killed off anyway, so I don't know about that. Again, Warlock, so many scams with the undead package. I am not gonna miss Amorphous Slime going into like, you know, Thaddeus and all of that. That whole undead package felt pretty cheesy, but it was very effective and I definitely did play it. For Warrior, the whole Fire Warrior thing was pretty neat. Thori Balor went through some stuff to get to where they are now, but really cool card. Absolutely gonna miss all the fire stuff going on in Warrior. And lastly, with the neutrals, this card was just a mistake, I will say. Like, there's no way around it, but Astalor is the one that I'm most interested in seeing if anybody really makes comments about. The most played card by far during its run. It's still in like almost 50% of decks. It got nerfed once, but for the amount of play this card sees and how much it dictates things, it's one of the least complained cards I've seen about. Like, there are complaints, don't get me wrong, but it's not at the level of like any other card that's in that many decks. So that'll be a huge change when this card leaves because it factors into so many decks. You just slot it in and you feel really good about it. Vizier's another one that just, again, basically a Death Knight card. I won't miss Hawkstrider Rancher either, in the way that it just always snowballed, but hasn't been super meta relevant. But overall, there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of frustrating stuff leaving, but I think this is the first time in a long time where I feel like I'm not like super excited about rotation for cards to leave. Sure, I'm glad Thaddeus is going to be gone. That makes me happy, but it wasn't that long ago where I just wanted like the entirety of United and Stormwind and like Alterac Valley gone. And for this part, like this rotation, there's just a lot of really cool cards I'm going to miss. And I think the last 2 years in particular of Hearthstone have been really nice. And there's been a lot of cool cards, and I'm excited to see what the next year will bring in. So it makes it, I don't know, it's a bit more somber to look forward to rotation when normally I'm just really psyched about it. So let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments down below. Is there a lot of cards you're going to miss, or is it more of just, I can't wait to see these cards go? Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.